When the woman you care for starts pulling away, it strikes something primal inside you. Your mind races. Your heart stumbles. You wonder, did I do something wrong? Is she losing interest? Should I fight harder? Should I disappear? The truth is, moments of distance are inevitable in all relationships. But it is how you respond to this distance, how you hold yourself when the ground feels unstable, that defines not only the relationship's fate, but the man you are becoming. In today's journey together, I will show you exactly how to move with stoic calm and strategic clarity when she becomes distant. This is not about manipulation. It is about becoming unshakable, about embodying the kind of grounded presence that naturally attracts, whether she stays or she goes. If you value strength over desperation, if you want to handle these moments with true wisdom, then you are exactly where you need to be. Make sure to subscribe to the Everlasting Stoic so you never miss these deep explorations into self-mastery and relational wisdom. And if you find value here, hit the like button. It tells the system you want more of this kind of masculine growth content. Now, let's dive in. 1. Stay composed and aware. The first instinct when a woman begins to withdraw is to chase. It's natural. We are wired to seek closeness when we sense distance, but instinct is not always aligned with wisdom. And if you move reactively, you will almost certainly destroy what remains. The first and most critical move is simple. Stay composed. Stay aware. Do not act from panic. You must understand. Distance is not always the end. Sometimes it is a test. Sometimes it is an unconscious need for space, growth, or reevaluation. And sometimes, yes, it is a sign that she is detaching permanently. But none of these possibilities are clarified by you losing your frame. Imagine you are standing at the helm of a ship. The seas grow choppy. The winds howl. The inexperienced captain panics, yanks the wheel, tries to fight the storm with frantic movements, and capsizes his own vessel. The wise captain steadies himself. He watches the winds. He adjusts his sails with calm precision. He does not panic. He survives. You must become that captain. When you notice her text slowing down, her affection cooling, her availability shrinking, do not flood her inbox. Do not demand answers. Do not vent your fears. Instead, take a breath. Then another. Sink into a deeper awareness of yourself and the situation. Notice your emotional reactions as they rise, but do not act on them. She is watching, even if unconsciously. She is sensing. Is he the kind of man who collapses when challenged, or the kind of man who remains grounded no matter what storm brews around him? And let me tell you, even if part of her subconscious craves reassurance, a larger part respects and feels safer with the man who holds his ground. Remember, emotions are contagious. If you become anxious and desperate, you feed the distance further. If you remain calm and composed, you give the relationship space to breathe. And you reassert your natural masculine polarity. But composure is not mere inaction. It is active, conscious awareness. It is being awake. This is not the time to check out or pretend you do not care. This is the time to be more observant than ever before. What is truly happening? Is she overwhelmed with work, family, stress, and simply needs a temporary retreat? Or is she gradually disinvesting because of deeper relational dissatisfaction? Is she testing your strength without even realizing it? Or is she struggling with her own internal conflicts that have little to do with you? You cannot know if you are drowning in your own fear. You must watch, listen, observe, and you must not seek immediate relief for your discomfort. This is crucial. The discomfort you feel when she grows distant is your crucible. It is your invitation to grow into a man who can face uncertainty with dignity. The man who demands immediate reassurance, who says, tell me you love me, or else reveals his own fragility. The man who holds space, who does not flinch, who lets the situation unfold while maintaining his integrity, that man commands respect. In ancient Stoic philosophy, there is a teaching: you do not control external events. You control your responses. This moment is your living laboratory for that principle. You cannot force her to return. You cannot demand her affection. You cannot control whether the relationship survives. You can only control how you show up. Will you be frantic, grasping, needy? Or will you be composed, dignified, observant, and understand? Composure is not about pretending. It is not about putting on a mask of indifference. It is about cultivating genuine internal stability, the kind that radiates outward and affects everyone around you. A woman senses when a man's calm is real. And that real calm, not forced aloofness, not fake coldness, but genuine groundedness, is magnetic. Sometimes your strength alone will draw her back. Sometimes it will not. But no matter the outcome, you will be the man you respect. And that is the only victory that truly matters. Before we move forward, I want to invite you to reflect. Have you ever faced a moment where remaining calm changed everything? Or perhaps a time when losing your composure cost you dearly? I would love for you to share your experiences in the comments. Your story might be the mirror another man needs today to see himself clearly. And if you are committing right now to facing the distance with calm strength, write this in the comments. I choose calm over chaos. Let's move forward together as men who do not flinch in the face of uncertainty. 2. Give her space without panic. When you sense her pulling away, the immediate temptation is to rush in. You want to close the gap. You want to fix it now. You want to restore the warmth, the comfort, the closeness you once felt. But the brutal truth is this: you cannot smother someone back into love. You cannot force connection. You cannot strangle intimacy back into existence. When someone pulls away, the paradox is clear. The more you chase, the further they retreat. The wiser move, the Stoic move, is to give her the space she is gravitating toward, and to do so without panic, without passive aggression, without resentment. This is not passive surrender. This is strategic non-action. It is choosing to align your behavior with reality instead of waging a frantic war against it. And it is not easy. Giving space triggers every abandonment wound you have ever carried. It whispers dark lies into your mind. She's leaving you. You're not enough. You must do something now or lose everything. But if you listen to those lies, you sacrifice your dignity. You sacrifice your power. And ultimately, you sacrifice the very relationship you are trying to save. Space honors freedom. Space communicates. I trust you to figure out what you need. Space demonstrates, I am strong enough to stand here, unflinching, even when things feel uncertain. When you give a woman space gracefully, you are not pushing her away. You are acknowledging her autonomy, and you are refusing to become an obstacle to her clarity. If she is confused, she needs time to sort through that confusion. If she is overwhelmed, she needs quiet to find her center. If she is drifting, she needs room to recognize whether she truly misses you or not. If you crowd her, you rob her of that process. And here's a deeper truth. When you withhold the chase, you learn the truth faster. If a woman is merely overwhelmed but still values the relationship, space allows her to return with renewed clarity. If she has already mentally and emotionally left, space reveals that reality. Without you clinging to false hope, you must be strong enough to handle either outcome. You must be willing to lose her, rather than lose yourself. There is profound dignity in allowing someone to leave if that is their true path. There is immense strength in refusing to chase love that no longer wishes to be held. Giving space is an act of faith, not in her necessarily, but in yourself. Faith that no matter what happens, you will endure. Faith that you can handle loss without losing your soul. Faith that true love, if it exists, does not require your suffocating control. Now, giving space does not mean disappearing into the void with passive bitterness. It does not mean ghosting her or sending cold signals to punish her. It means remaining warm but detached. It means responding when she reaches out, but not initiating a flood of communication. It means keeping your heart open but your life moving forward. Imagine yourself like a strong tree rooted in the earth. The winds may shake you. The storms may rage, but you do not uproot yourself in desperation. You sway, you flex, but you remain grounded. That groundedness is what space looks like in action. You live your life. You focus on your growth. You pursue your passions. You invest in your friendships. You nurture your mind and body. And if she returns, she finds a man who has not collapsed in her absence. A man who is even more centered, even more magnetic than before. If she does not return, you are already walking the path of becoming a man who attracts even deeper love into his life. Either way, you win. 3. Reflect instead of react. In the silence of her distance, there is an opportunity, an invitation few are wise enough to accept. That opportunity is self-reflection. Most men, when they sense a woman drifting, react. They send anxious messages. They demand explanations. They replay old conversations, searching for mistakes and spiral into frantic over-analysis. They move outward, away from themselves, trying to solve an external mystery. But the wise man, the Stoic man, moves inward instead. He does not react. He reflects. He asks the harder, deeper questions. Who am I becoming through this challenge? What is this situation revealing about my emotional patterns? Am I operating from fear or from strength? Have I lost sight of my own values in pursuit of validation? Moments of distance are painful, but they are mirrors. They reveal the parts of yourself that still crave external approval. They expose the fractures in your inner foundation. They surface the insecurities that still grip your heart. You cannot outrun these revelations. You can only face them. If you react without reflection, you miss the lesson. You stay trapped in the same cycles, doomed to repeat the same desperate moves in future relationships. But if you dare to reflect, you transform. You begin to see that your anxiety is not about her. It is about your relationship with yourself. You realize that your urge to chase is not noble. It is a fear-driven attempt to control the uncontrollable. You understand that true strength is not in forcing outcomes, but in mastering your own mind. Use this time, the space between you, to dig deeper into your own soul. Journal, meditate, walk in silence. Ask yourself the brutal, liberating questions you have been avoiding. Where have you neglected your own boundaries? Where have you outsourced your sense of worth? Where have you tolerated imbalanced disrespect or disconnection out of fear of loss? And equally, where have you contributed to the distance? Not from a place of self-blame, but from a place of ownership. Perhaps you became complacent. Perhaps you stopped bringing your full presence into the relationship. Perhaps you neglected your own masculine polarity, becoming too passive, too needy, too reactive. These reflections are not weapons to beat yourself with. They are tools to forge a stronger, deeper self. The Stoics teach us that adversity is not an obstacle to growth. It is the path to growth. When you embrace reflection over reaction, you begin to sever the chains of emotional slavery. You are no longer at the mercy of her behavior. You are no longer tossed around by every fluctuation in attention and affection. You become self-led. And paradoxically, this shift makes you far more attractive. Women are drawn, deeply and instinctively, to men who are not ruled by emotional chaos. They feel safer with men who can hold themselves steady. No matter the storm, they respect men who take ownership, rather than casting blame or begging for validation. In reflection, you build the inner scaffolding of that kind of manhood. You stop trying to fix her emotions. You stop trying to manipulate outcomes. You start tending to your own soil, watering your own roots, nurturing your own soul. And whether she ultimately chooses to walk back into your life or to walk away, you emerge from this trial stronger, wiser, and infinitely more magnetic. So here's something I want you to do now. If you are serious about walking this path, in the comments, write a single reflection that this situation, whatever distance you are facing, has already taught you. It can be a sentence, it can be a paragraph, but anchor your growth in writing. Or if you feel bold, commit publicly by writing. I choose reflection over reaction, because that choice, simple, courageous, unwavering, is the seed of a life you can be proud of. 4. Keep growing while she pulls back. When distance creeps into a relationship, most people enter a waiting room mentality. They sit still. They hold their breath. They put their lives on pause, hoping the other person returns to restore normalcy. But waiting is weakness. Waiting drains your spirit. Waiting hands over your power. Growth, on the other hand, transforms the entire situation. When she pulls back, you do not freeze. You do not beg. You do not stand motionless at the gates of her affection. You move forward with purpose. This is your moment to double down on your evolution. This is your opportunity to expand in every direction life offers you, not because you are trying to win her back, but because you refuse to let any external condition freeze your soul. Understand this clearly. Your life must not orbit around her presence, her attention, or her approval. Your life must orbit around your mission, your principles, your deepest values. The Stoic man is not moved off his path by the temporary withdrawal of another human being. He grieves if necessary. He feels the ache, but he does not halt his march toward mastery. He trains his body harder. He sharpens his mind deeper. He strengthens his spirit wider. He dives into the crafts, skills, and disciplines that call him forward. He connects with brothers, mentors, and allies who lift his gaze higher. He revisits his ambitions, his dreams, his reason for breathing. And he accelerates. Why? Because a woman does not truly desire to return to a man who has stagnated in her absence. She does not seek the man who sat idly, pining, waiting like a dog at the door. If she returns, consciously or subconsciously, she is drawn back to a man who grew stronger while she was away. A man who used the silence not as a tomb but as a forge. A man whose life became even more vibrant, more magnetic, more unstoppable. Growth is the ultimate act of respect for yourself and even for her. You honor her by not making her absence the center of your existence. You honor her by showing that love does not destroy you. It refines you, and most of all, you honor yourself. This is your life. This is your only life. It is too sacred, too short, too rich to be spent in passive misery over someone else's uncertainty. When you focus on your growth, you change the gravitational field around you. You begin to emit a different energy, one of strength, depth, and unstoppable vitality. And here's the paradox. When you grow, you stop needing her return. You may still desire it, but it no longer defines you. And from that place of non-neediness, true love or a new, deeper love can emerge. Growth does not guarantee her return. Nothing does, but it guarantees your rise. It guarantees that whether she comes back or not, you will look in the mirror months from now and see a man you admire. A man who seized his pain and shaped it into power. A man who stood up taller in the face of uncertainty. A man who refused to collapse. So take this distance and channel it. Start that business you have been dreaming about. Hit the gym with new ferocity. Enroll in that course that challenges your mind. Dive into the books that awaken your soul. Spend time with men who sharpen your edges and remind you who you are. Every minute you invest in your growth now is a minute you will never regret. No matter the outcome of the relationship, you will have advanced on the path of greatness. Before we move on, I would love to hear from you. What is one area of your life you are committed to growing right now, regardless of what happens with her? Drop it in the comments. Speak it into existence. Declare your mission publicly and become the man who walks it, no matter who stays or who leaves. 5. Speak with confidence, not need. Eventually, a moment may come when communication must happen. She may reach out, or you may find it appropriate to initiate a conversation after giving ample space. When that moment arrives, everything, and I mean everything, rests on the energy behind your words. Speak from confidence, not from need. The man who speaks from need sounds different. He begs without realizing he's begging. His words are dripping with insecurity, with unspoken demands for reassurance, validation, control. He says things like, "Why have you been distant?" Pleading, "Did I do something wrong?" Self-doubt, "Tell me you still love me." These questions, these pleas transmit the exact opposite of what you must embody. They reveal that your emotional state is dependent on her actions. They signal that you have abandoned your own self-trust. And whether she is conscious of it or not, that energy repels her further. On the other hand, the man who speaks from confidence sounds like this. "I've noticed some distance lately. I want you to know I care about you, and I respect whatever space you need. I value connection, but I also value honesty and growth, even when it's uncomfortable. I'm moving forward in my life with clarity and purpose. If you want to walk this path with me, there's space for you." See the difference? He is not demanding. He is offering. He is not begging. He is standing. This is crucial. You must be willing to lose her to maintain your self-respect. If you communicate from a place of desperation, please tell me what I want to hear, so I can feel okay you lose both her respect and your own. But if you communicate from a place of groundedness, I am here, standing in truth, offering connection without neediness, you create the conditions for real intimacy. And here's another deep truth. Confidence is not about being cold or indifferent. It is about being warm but free. You can express genuine affection without attachment. You can be vulnerable without being needy. You can share your heart without making it a hostage negotiation. For example, "I care about you. I enjoy what we have shared, and I'm committed to growing, with or without you. If you feel aligned with that journey, I'm open to exploring what's next." No pressure, no chasing, no collapse. Just truth, powerfully and calmly delivered. Most people misunderstand what real confidence sounds like. It is not arrogance. It is not bravado. It is not pretending you do not care. It is standing fully in your own value, knowing that your worth is not determined by another person's response. You speak your truth, and you let the chips fall where they may. This requires courage. It requires letting go of attachment to outcomes. It requires trusting that no matter what happens, you will be okay, and you will grow from it. And ultimately, It creates a kind of magnetic field around you, because few things are more rare and more attractive than a person who desires connection but does not require it to be whole. A woman who senses this in you will either rise to meet you there, in that field of mutual respect and strength, or she will fall away. And if she falls away, you bless her path and continue walking your own. No drama, no bitterness, no collapse, only dignity, only growth, only forward motion. In the next chapters, we will go even deeper into how to maintain this posture of power, even when emotions run high and temptations to crumble whisper in your ear. But before we continue, I invite you to reflect. Have you ever spoken from need rather than strength? What difference did it make? Or, if you are ready to make the shift now, anchor it by writing this in the comments. I speak from strength, not need. This single commitment, lived day after day, will change not only your relationships, but your entire life. 6. Shift your focus inward. When uncertainty looms in a relationship, the weak mind fixates outward. It obsessively watches the other person's every move. Is she texting less? Did her tone sound colder? Was her reply shorter than usual? Did she post something indirect online? This hypervigilance is exhausting. It eats away at your peace. It places your emotional stability in the hands of another's unpredictable whims. It is slavery, self-imposed and self-sustained. The wise man, the ever-growing Stoic, knows better. He shifts his gaze inward. When you feel her pulling away, do not study her every breath. Study your own. Do not stalk her signals. Stalk your own reactions. This is a sacred opportunity to detach from codependency and deepen your sovereignty. Sovereignty, that is the heart of true masculinity. It means you govern yourself. It means your happiness, your sense of meaning, your peace, are not subject to external votes. You must be the emperor of your own internal kingdom. This is not to say you should not feel pain or miss her. You are human, not stone. Love, connection, intimacy. These are some of life's greatest treasures. Their potential loss should stir something within you. But feeling pain and becoming ruled by it are two different things. Pain is a visitor. It teaches. Attachment to pain is a jailer. It imprisons. You must walk through your emotional landscape like a king inspecting his grounds. When you notice longing rising, greet it. When you notice fear trembling, observe it. When you notice anger sparking, sit with it. But do not mistake yourself for any of these emotions. You are the observer, not the storm. And as you turn your focus inward, you will find a deeper wellspring, one you had perhaps forgotten. You will remember passions you neglected while wrapped in the cocoon of romance. You will rediscover visions and ambitions you sidelined for comfort. You will reconnect with that wild, vital part of you that was never meant to orbit another person, but to blaze its own magnificent path. Shift your focus inward and you reclaim treasures that were never lost, only sleeping. Ask yourself, what dreams did I defer while investing in this relationship? What strengths did I let atrophy? What inner fires did I allow to smolder instead of blaze? This is not about blaming her. This is not about bitterness. It is about seeing the truth. You are always responsible for your own vitality. No relationship should ever cost you the deepest parts of yourself. Love should water your roots, not replace them. Shift your focus inward, and your world expands again. You stop playing small games of emotional cat and mouse. You stop analyzing texts like cryptographers hunting for hidden meaning. You stop measuring your worth based on proximity to someone else's affection. You start building your empire, brick by brick, breath by breath, day by day. You become so immersed in your own growth that whether she chooses to walk alongside you again or not becomes secondary to the great project of your own life. Ironically, this is often the very energy that rekindles attraction. Not manipulation, not tactics, but the raw gravitational pull of a man who is rooted in his own rising. Or perhaps she does not return. Perhaps life opens new doors, new paths, new loves. Either way, you win. Shift your focus inward, and you never lose. 7. Stay above the drama. When emotions are high and uncertainty reigns, drama becomes a tempting escape hatch. Drama gives you the illusion of action. The late-night angry messages, the passive-aggressive comments, the jealous outbursts, the social media posts designed to provoke a reaction. It feels like doing something. It feels like fighting for what you love. It feels like taking control, but it is an illusion. Drama is a counterfeit of real power. It mimics strength, but broadcasts weakness. A man who indulges in drama is a man who has abandoned his own self-respect. He trades dignity for attention. He exchanges leadership for emotional chaos. When she grows distant, staying above the drama becomes a sacred discipline. You do not accuse. You do not provoke. You do not bait her into caring. You stand. You hold your posture. You maintain your composure. You respond when appropriate, not with icy detachment, but with calm clarity. If she picks fights, you do not escalate. If she withdraws communication, you do not bombard her. If she posts cryptic messages, you do not engage in decoding or retaliation. You recognize all these for what they are: symptoms of confusion, not invitations to battle. Understand this deeply. You do not owe anyone your emotional chaos. You owe yourself your peace. A woman, or anyone, may expect you to join their emotional turbulence. They may unconsciously test you, inviting you into the whirlwind. They may crave the drama as a way to feel alive or to extract validation, but you are not obligated to answer that call. You can stand in the center of your being, like a lighthouse in a storm, refusing to flicker. Staying above the drama is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about channeling them wisely. If you feel rage rising, move your body, train, create, build, write, work. Direct that energy into something that leaves a mark on the world, not scars on your dignity. If you feel despair washing over you, sit with it. Breathe through it, but do not weaponize it. Speak only when your words can improve the silence. Act only when your actions can build, not destroy. Drama is a trap. It seduces you with promises of emotional release and leaves you emptier than before. Staying above the drama turns you into a different kind of force. Women, and people in general, sense this immediately. They recognize, even if only subconsciously, here is a man who cannot be baited into pettiness. Here is a man who can hold emotional weight without collapsing. Here is a man whose peace is not negotiable. This energy transforms relationships. Either the dynamic rises to meet your standard, or it disintegrates. Either way, you are spared the degradation of lowering yourself into unnecessary chaos. And hear me well, if staying above the drama reveals that a relationship cannot survive without constant turbulence, consider it a gift. Better to lose the unstable and maintain your soul than to win the unstable and lose yourself. Staying above the drama is a choice, 100 times a day. It is not easy. It is not glamorous. It is stoic. It is strong. It is rare. And it is precisely what shapes you into the man you were always meant to become. If you are ready to take this stand, declare it publicly. Plant your flag. Write in the comments, "I rise above the drama." Let that be your compass, your standard, your silent vow. The man who stays above the drama wins, no matter how the story unfolds. Eat. Offer stability without begging. That when distance enters a relationship, the anxious part of you believes you must do something. It whispers urgently, fix it, convince her, prove your worth, win her back. This desperation is seductive. It disguises itself as love, as care, as determination. But beneath it lies fear. The fear of loss, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being enough. If you act from this energy, you make a fatal mistake. You confuse frantic action with masculine leadership. You must understand, offering stability is not the same as begging for connection. True stability is quiet. It is steady. It is dignified. It does not need to be loudly announced. It does not scream for attention. It simply is. When she pulls back, the greatest gift you can offer, both to her and to yourself, is a presence that does not collapse, a strength that does not chase, a heart that stays open but a spine that remains unbent. Offers stability like an oak tree offers shade. It does not beg the weary traveler to rest beneath its branches. It simply stands. It simply provides. And if the traveler chooses another path, the oak remains unmoved. You must embody that same spirit. When you reach out, if you do so without agenda. No hidden hooks of expectation. No guilt-laced pleas for attention. When you offer conversation, or an invitation, or a moment of presence, do so freely. If it is accepted, good. If it is declined, also good. This is a hard truth to swallow. Love offered freely must also be allowed to be rejected freely. If you cannot bear the possibility of rejection, you are not offering love. You are offering a bargain, a transaction, an ultimatum disguised as affection. Real stability is love without clinging. It is offering your open hand, not your closed fist. You tell her, through words, through actions, through silence, I am here if you wish to build something with me. I will not beg. I will not chase. I will not debase myself to purchase your affection. My value does not hinge on your approval. This energy is powerful. It does not guarantee reconciliation. Nothing does. But it guarantees that if connection is rekindled, it is done so from a place of mutual strength, not pity, not guilt, not manipulation. Offering stability without begging also sends a deep message to your own subconscious. I trust myself. I trust life. I trust that whatever is meant for me will stay, and what is not will fade. This trust changes your entire posture. Your tone of voice lowers, softens, your shoulders square, your eyes steady. You radiate a different kind of magnetism, one that cannot be faked. Women are deeply attuned to this energy. They know when a man's affection is riddled with hooks and demands. They know when a man's presence is desperate for validation. And they know when a man's presence is a grounded, luminous gift. Give the gift. Offer stability. Refuse to beg. And know this too. If she chooses not to return, or if she continues to pull away despite your calm offering, you have still won. Because you remained true to yourself. You did not collapse into drama. You did not contort yourself to please. You did not chase validation at the expense of dignity. You stood like the oak through the storm. And when the storm passes, you will still be standing. Perhaps alone for a time, but never lonely. Because a man who stands rooted in his own soul is never truly alone. Before we move forward, I invite you to reflect. What does offering stability without begging mean to you personally? Have you ever witnessed or experienced the power of quiet strength? If you are committing today to be the oak, not the beggar, write in the comments, I offer stability without attachment. Let us continue the journey, standing tall, together. 9. Let go if you must. The hardest moment in any relationship is not the first meeting, nor the first confession of love. It is the moment when you realize, with painful clarity, that you may need to let go. Not because you stopped caring, not because you gave up too soon, but because to cling would mean to betray yourself. Letting go is not failure. Letting go is the highest form of love. It is the moment when you say, I love you enough to set you free. I love myself enough to honor my own worth. This path is not for the faint of heart. Everything inside you will resist it. Your mind will replay the memories. Your heart will ache at the absence. Your hands will reach out in dreams, only to grasp empty air. You will bargain with yourself. Maybe if I just wait a little longer. Maybe if I just try harder. Maybe if I just become someone else. But deep down, you will know. When a relationship becomes a one-sided battle for connection, it ceases to be love and becomes captivity. And you, the Stoic man, the man of wisdom and strength, were not born to live in chains. Letting go is not coldness. It is not bitterness. It is not indifference. It is a fierce, sacred act of love. Both for her and for yourself. You let go when staying means shrinking. You let go when fighting means losing your self-respect. You let go when holding on would mean suffocating the very thing you once cherished. Letting go does not erase the beauty you shared. It does not deny the love that was real. It honors it by refusing to drag it through the mud of resentment and desperation. You can bless her path without walking it with her. You can carry the lessons, the growth, the memories, without clinging to the ghost of what was. This takes an almost heroic strength. To sit with the ache instead of numbing it. To face the empty spaces instead of filling them with distractions. To walk forward, step by trembling step, into a future you cannot yet see. But this is how you become more than a man seeking comfort. You become a man forging his destiny. The Stoics teach us that nothing external is truly ours. Not wealth, not reputation, not even love. Everything is on loan from the universe and may be recalled at any time. The wise man does not cling. He loves fully while it is his to love, and releases gracefully when it is time to release. He trusts that whatever is taken from him carves deeper space within him for even greater gifts to come. You are not defined by who stays. You are not diminished by who leaves. You are defined by how you walk the journey with dignity, with resilience, with open hands. If she must go, let her. Let her with blessing, not bitterness. Let her with tears if necessary. Tears are no shame, but let her without chains. You deserve a love that stays freely. She deserves the freedom to choose. And your life, your luminous, magnificent, one precious life, deserves to be lived without begging, without grasping, without shrinking. You deserve to rise. If you are standing at that threshold now, trembling between holding on and letting go, know that you are not alone. Every great man has faced this moment. Every great man has wept into his hands, doubted his strength, questioned the path. And every great man who chose to let go when he must, emerged stronger, clearer, freer. This is your fire. This is your forge. This is your rebirth. Walk through it. Trust that your steps, however faltering now, are leading you toward a life that honors the greatness within you. If you feel the courage stirring even faintly within you, write it into existence. Comment below. I have the strength to let go. You are not losing her. You are finding yourself. And that is a gain beyond measure. Conclusion. And so we arrive at the end of this path. or rather at the threshold of a new beginning. If you have listened closely today, you understand you cannot control whether she stays or leaves. You cannot force connection. You cannot bargain for love. But you can always control your posture, your growth, your integrity. You can choose composure over chaos. You can choose reflection over reaction. You can choose stability over neediness. You can choose growth over waiting. You can choose to stand, to rise, to move forward, no matter what the world around you chooses. And in that choice, you become invincible. Whether she returns or whether she walks away into her own unknown journey, you walk your path with honor. You walk it, not as a beggar of love, but as a sovereign of your own soul. The everlasting Stoic is not merely a title. It is a calling, a call to master yourself, a call to live by principles greater than comfort, a call to seek wisdom over validation, a call to embody a strength so deep, so quiet, so radiant, that the world cannot help but feel it. If today's journey stirred something in you, if you are committed to walking this path of mastery, resilience, and calm strength, I invite you to subscribe to the Everlasting Stoic. We are building a brotherhood of men, and women too, who refuse to be ruled by the shifting winds of circumstance, who refuse to shrink, who refuse to beg, who choose to rise. Like this video, if it resonated with your spirit, not out of habit, but as a signal that you are committed to becoming the man you were meant to be. And before you leave, I would love to hear from you. In the comments, share one insight, one realization, one commitment you are carrying with you after this video. Your words might be the torch. Another traveler needs to find his way through the dark. And if nothing else comes to mind, simply write, "I choose to rise." Let it be a declaration. Let it be a beginning. You have what it takes. Until next time, stay calm, stay strong, stay everlasting.